Shalom, beloved community. Today we journey through Parashat Beha'alotecha, a portion entitled Aaron's Lamp and Honor. It draws deeply from the rich spiritual lessons found in Parashat Beha'alotecha, a portion filled with profound messages about leadership, light, yearning, and renewal. Parashat Beha'alotecha opens with Hashem instructing Aaron to light the 7 lamps of the golden menorah in the sanctuary, ensuring its radiance reflects as commanded. Following this, Moses initiates the Levites into temple service. They purify themselves through immersion, shaving, and sprinkling with the ashes of the red heifer, then offer sacrifices. The Levites are dedicated as a gift to Aaron and his sons, to assist in the sacred duties and to atone for Israel, beginning their service in the tent of meeting as commanded by Hashem. The parashah then addresses the observance of Passover, revealing the law of Pesach Sheini, the second Passover. This provision is for those who were ritually impure or on a journey and therefore unable to offer the Passover sacrifice on its appointed day. Hashem commands that such individuals may observe Passover 1 month later, preserving the opportunity for every Israelite to partake in this essential commandment. The narrative continues with the cloud of Hashem covering the sanctuary by day and appearing as fire by night, guiding Israel's journey and encampments according to divine direction. As Israel prepares to leave Sinai after nearly a year, Hashem commands Moses to make 2 silver trumpets to summon the people and signal the movement of the camps. Despite the miraculous provisions, the people soon complain about their diet, craving meat instead of manna. Hashem instructs Moses to appoint 70 elders to share his burden of leadership and promises to provide meat for a full month. The elders receive the spirit of prophecy, but when 2, Eldad and Medad, prophesy outside the camp, Moses wishes all Israel were prophets. Quail are sent in abundance, but Hashem's wrath follows because of the people's lustful complaints, resulting in a plague. The parashah concludes with Miriam criticizing Moses, for which she is punished with leprosy and temporarily quarantined, demonstrating the seriousness of lashon hara, evil speech. After her healing, the people resume their journey into the wilderness of Paran. We begin with a seemingly simple act, the lighting of the menorah by Aaron the high priest. After witnessing the tribal leaders bring their offerings, Aaron felt a sense of exclusion. Hashem reassured him, declaring that his task, kindling the menorah, was even more enduring. Rabbi Shmot notes that this eternal flame finds its continuation in the lights of Chanukah, kindled by Aaron's descendants across generations. The menorah, crafted from a single block of gold, yet branching into 7 distinct lamps, embodies the paradox of unity and diversity. Each lamp, representing a different path of the soul, converges toward the same divine purpose. The instruction that the Kohen should hold the flame until the wick burns on its own becomes a powerful metaphor for spiritual mentorship. A guide must awaken the inner light of each soul until it can shine independently. This sacred theme of awakening continues in the episode of the second Passover, Pesach Sheini. When certain individuals, rendered impure, were unable to bring the Passover offering, they cried out, "Why should we be deprived?" Their sincere yearning moved heaven itself. In response, Hashem granted them, and all future generations, a second chance, a month later, to fulfill the mitzvah. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson teaches that this moment is not merely about inclusion, but the power of teshuvah, the return that can elevate even what seemed lost. Pesach Sheini affirms that no spiritual opportunity is ever truly gone, and that with honest desire, one can transcend boundaries and transform even failure into merit. The menorah, Pesach Sheini, and the image of light all point to a greater mission, the Jewish call to be spiritual lamplighters. Just as King Solomon designed the temple windows to widen outward so that light would shine beyond, so too is Israel's purpose to illuminate the world. The construction of the menorah was so mystifying that Moses himself struggled to craft it. It was ultimately completed through divine assistance. This mirrors the challenge of shaping a holy people from diverse and fractured parts, a task that demands both human effort and divine grace. And so, the Israelites begin their journey through the wilderness, with every step and stop full of purpose. Even when they camped for just a single night, the sanctuary was erected, reminding us, as the Lubavitcher Rebbe emphasizes, that no moment is insignificant. Every pause, every place holds divine potential. Yet, human nature often resists holiness. When the people rushed from Mount Sinai like children fleeing school, or when Jethro returned to Midian rather than continuing on, we see how familiarity and comfort can sometimes eclipse spiritual growth. But Hashem's presence remains steadfast, sanctifying each moment with verses so sacred they are framed like books in the Torah. When the ark set out, Moses said, "Soon after, discontent arises. The people complain, not because they lack, but because they crave the illusion of freedom." The manna, capable of tasting like anything, still did not satisfy their deeper desires. They longed for Egypt's free fish, free not in price, but in freedom from responsibility. Rashi and Rabbi Shimeon expose that their yearning was not for meat, but for a life without mitzvot. Midrashic parables underscore this illusion. Abundance without spiritual purpose is hollow. Moses, overwhelmed, cries out to Hashem. In response, Hashem instructs him to appoint 70 elders, men who bore the suffering of others, because leadership must be forged in compassion. To prevent jealousy among the tribes, the elders are chosen equitably, each carrying the sanctity of the nation's calendar. Hashem bestows part of Moses' spirit upon them, affirming that true wisdom is not diminished by sharing. The Midrash compares this to a candle that lights others without losing its own flame. Still, as the Lubavitcher Rebbe teaches, such giving carries subtle spiritual costs. Engaging with those far from holiness can be draining. Yet, when rooted in authenticity and humility, this act of lifting others uplifts the teacher too. The beat narrative then turns to sorrowful chapters. Kivrot Hatava, the graves of lust, and the slander of Miriam and Aaron against Moses. Miriam and Aaron questioned his separation from his wife, unaware of the unique prophetic role he carried. Hashem clarified that Moses stood apart, receiving divine communication not in dreams, but while fully awake. Because of this constant communion, Moses had to remain spiritually prepared at all times. Miriam was stricken with Zara'at, and the entire nation paused for 7 days to wait for her recovery. This moment radiates honor and compassion. Just as she watched over Moses in his infancy, now Israel watches over her. And Moses, model of humility, utters the shortest yet most sincere prayer, Elna refanala, please Hashem, heal her now. The sages teach that it is not the length of prayer, but its depth of intention that moves heaven. In the midst of winter, when nights are long and cold, Jewish homes are brightened by the lights of Chanukah. These lights, kindled at night and facing the public, symbolize more than a historical victory. They carry the very spirit of the menorah in the temple, yet with a crucial difference. The temple menorah was lit during the day, inside the sanctuary. The Chanukah lights are lit at night, in the threshold between private and public life. Why? Because Chanukah represents the redemptive power of light that arises from darkness. In moments when even the sanctuary is defiled, we must illuminate the world from the outside in. Thus, the Chanukah menorah teaches us that holiness can pierce even the thickest darkness, and that light born in adversity burns with a transformative power. This journey of light did not stop at the temple or even in the home. It expanded outward. From the menorah's sacred 7 flames, representing the natural order, to the 8 flames of Chanukah, pointing to transcendence. The number 8 speaks of miracles, of realms beyond creation. It invites us to bring holiness not only into sacred spaces, but into the streets, into exile, into every shadowed place. The same spirit animates Pesach Sheini. Though it arises from a missed opportunity, it becomes a moment of radical hope. The laws surrounding it reflect its message. Unlike the first Passover, which forbids all leaven, representing ego, the second Passover allows it. This teaches that not all ego must be destroyed. Some of it can be redirected and sanctified. This is the difference between the tzaddik and the Baal teshuvah, the righteous and the one who returns. The tzaddik walks in purity, while the Baal teshuvah turns even there stumbling into stepping stones. The sages teach that where the repentant stand, even the perfectly righteous cannot reach. And so, the second Passover is not only a make-up date, it is a festival in its own right, born of longing and filled with transformative power. As we close this portion, we are reminded of the profound invitation woven through each event, each light, each cry, to be vessels of holy fire, to awaken the light in others until it burns on its own, to sanctify even the temporary places, to uplift even our failures, to speak gently, to pray from the heart, and to walk humbly with our Hashem. May we, too, become lamplighters in our generation, guiding, healing, yearning, and shining until the world itself becomes a menorah glowing with divine light. Shavua Tov, have a good week, a week of peace.